Let's continue talking about the laws of the Omer. We started yesterday talking about that. There's a lot of things to cover, the truth is, about that. But also, we have the customs that we do on the time of the Omer because of the 24,000 Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva that passed away at that time. They say, there's different versions of the story, when they died exactly. Some say it was until Lag BaOmer. Some say it was until Lad BaOmer. Some say it was all the way to Shavuot. Like this, right? They died. 24,000. It must have been a tremendous tragedy. Can you imagine burying, 24,000 people in 50 days? It's like, and all of them rabbis, all of them chachamim. My God, can you imagine what that was? Must have been horrible, horrific. Right? We think we have it bad, Can you imagine what it was then? So, they say, right, that they didn't give kavod to one to the other, and this is the reason why we have this minhagim, and they died, So there's a lot of things, you can say about this, by the way. First of all, you can say that, it was a big loss for Am Yisrael. That these 24,000 Talmidim died. You know why? Because if we would have had all these chachamim, they would have spread Torah all over the world. Every neighborhood, every block, every town, every city, every place, there would have been Talmid Chacham, another one, more. They would have spread more Torah. So when they died, you know what happened, right? That the Torah also died. It was almost we lost everything. This was the thing, It was a very terrible thing. So what happened was, that after they died, Rabbi Akiva, he was like, what am I going to do now? I lost all my Talmidim, everything I lost, So what happened was, they say, he went to Darom, Aretz, right, the south, and he found over there 5 Talmidim Chadashim. 5 new Talmidim, and from them, the Torah was restored, because otherwise he had nothing left. There was nothing, everything was gone. It was I'm sorry.
Why it's happened?
Because they didn't give respect one to the other. That we just said, right? That's no respect, no respect. No respect. Yeah, so there's all kinds of things, by the way, that they talk about in the Kabbalah about this. They say that use this number 24,000. It's like something which has been already. We've seen this before, right? Where was the first time? The first time was when Shimon and Levi, right, wiped out the town of Shechem, right? So they say, that these people, all the ones they wiped out, they converted, by the way, to Judaism. All of them, they converted. They did Brit Milah. They did conversion. And then Shimon and Levi went and killed them after they converted. Can you imagine? Crazy, right? They converted, and then Shimon and Levi killed them. 24,000 probably was the same amount. It doesn't say, but right. So what happened was that those people who died, they came back as a Gilgul. Where? In the time of the Zimri, right? Also there was 24,000 that died. Same number, right? 24,000. When the Magifa, right, came, and the Pinchas came, right, and killed Zimri, and then 24,000 from Shevet Shimon, they died, that time. So then again, right, Talmidim Rabbi Akiva, again 24,000, same number. What's the connection between this and that? So, according to Kabbalah, they were the Gilgulim of these people, First they came as Anshe Shechem. They converted to Judaism, Anshe Shechem, and then they came back as Shevet Shimon, 24,000, got wiped out, and then they came back as Talmidim Rabbi Akiva, again. They died again, for a different sin. This time for a problem with midot, character, no bad character, no respect, no derech eretz, no kavod. Who wants a chacham like this, right? You don't want chachamim like this. By the way, you see one thing in the Talmud. All the Talmud you see there, you never see any teachings, in the Talmud coming from these 24,000 Talmidim. It doesn't say nothing in their name. And doesn't even mention their names, who they were. We don't even know their names. Understand? We don't know. No name, no teachings, no nothing. Ephes, zero, Why? Because of bad midot, bad character. When a person has bad character, his Torah is no good. Pasul. That Torah is no good. You cannot learn Torah from him. That's why they died. Because their Torah was not worth nothing. Because when you have a chatzuf, your chutzpah, bad character, no kavod, zilzul. Who wants to hear Torah from this person? His neshama is all polluted. corrupted, this guy. No derech eretz. No kavod one to the other. So they're all gone, finished, right? There's nothing left from them because of the bad character. In the time of the Zimri, right? What was it? It was Gilui Arayot. They went with Goyot, and had relations with Goyot. That was the problem over there. But now they came back, not because of this, not because of midot, bad character. You have to make a tikkun for everything. That's a neshama. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to, right, give tikkun for everything. So he gives you first tikkun for this, then that, then you come back again, right, until you're metaken everything. So what does that mean? That these neshamot that came from the Anshe Shechem over there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is metaken them little by little, First this problem, then this problem, then that problem. By the end, you have to be metaken everything. When Mashiach comes, the tikkun has to be finished. That's the way it is. Otherwise, you can't have Mashiach without the whole tikkun, being done already. Right? Gamarnu. Finished. That's the way it is. You have to finish a tikkun. The Rambam says that when Mashiach comes, he says, before he comes, all the Jews will be choser to teshuvah. Everybody of them is going to do teshuvah. Every one of them. Every Jew is going to do teshuvah. Can you imagine something like that? So, what about the Erev Rav? They're going to do teshuvah? So right, it says in the Zohar Kadosh, they have no tikkun, the Erev Rav. There's no tikkun for them. They're not going to do teshuvah. Who's the Erev Rav? These are the Jews. They live like not Jews, They live like goyim, like we have over there, and go to the Knesset. You're going to see a lot of them over there. These people. You look at them, you see, this guy's a Jew. He looks like a goy, He lives like a goy. He talks like a goy. Everything he does is like a goy, This is Erev Rav. These people they don't have a Jewish neshama. They have no, they were born Jewish, but neshama is not Jewish. Neshama is goy inside there. You know where they come from, right? It says in the Zohar Kadosh, they come from Esav and Ishmael, these neshamot. Not from Am Yisrael. They're not from us. So these people, says the Zohar Kadosh, they have no tikkun. So what's going to be with them? They're going to be destroyed, That's what it's destruction. No life for them. Nothing is going to be left. It says in the Zohar Kadosh, Moshe Rabbeinu has to come back, in the end. Hu ha-goel harishon, hu ha-goel acharon, Moshe Rabbeinu. He's the first goel, and also the last goel. So it says the Zohar Kadosh, what is he coming back for, Moshe Rabbeinu? You know what? What's the tikkun he's making? To get rid of the Erev Rav. You know why? Because he converted them. He made the mistake. It's your mistake. You made a big mess, with the Erev Rav. Now you got to come back and destroy them. This is what it says in the Zohar Kadosh. Erev Rav, no tikkun for them. There's nothing. No tikkun. They don't have any tikkun. Moshe Rabbeinu, so what does he do to them, What do you think? Moshe Rabbeinu is going to take a sword, and kill them, with a machine gun or something? What is he going to do? How is he going to get rid of them? You know what it says, right? The Zohar Kadosh. It says they have, because they stood at the Erev Rav, they stood at Har Sinai. They stood there, and they accepted the Torah. Because of that, they have Kedusha, they have Ot. They have one letter from the Torah, Kedusha, that gives them Kedusha. That's what gives them their life. That's what gives them their life. So, Moshe Rabbeinu, you know what he's going to do? When he comes, he's going to take that letter away from them, and they're going to be destroyed automatically. He doesn't have to do nothing. Nothing physical. He's just going to take away that ot, that ot that keeps them alive. Because why? Because of the zchut that they stood on Har Sinai. They did stand there, They accepted the Torah. They were there. You understand? So because of that, they have Kedusha. Moshe Rabbeinu has to take it from them. Okay. I'm not going to get too much into this, right? I'm going to make you crazy. So, okay. Not too much Kabbalah over here, right? Not too much. We're not Mekubalim over here. So, anyway, right, getting back to what we said. So, these Talmidim, they died, So, therefore, we do some minhagim of Avelut, during this Sfirat Omer. Minhagim of Avelut. Until when? Some do until Lag BaOmer, right? Like the Ashkenazim. We do until Lad BaOmer, the next day, right? The day after. Lad BaOmer. It's all good, Baruch Hashem. It's all good. But Lag BaOmer itself, right? The thing is, it's a holiday. Right? I don't have to tell you. It's a chag. Why is it a Chag Lag BaOmer? What's the reason why? What's the big deal? Because of Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shimon, what he did was, he, taught Kabbalah. He took Kabbalah, that was Min HaShamayim, that was lost, in Am Yisrael, and he brought it back, and he brought it back to Am Yisrael, the Kabbalah. He restored the Kabbalah, So because of that, Rabbi Shimon was the savior, he saved us, from losing our Masoret. All of what you see in the Zohar Kadosh over there, it's all from Rabbi Shimon, everything. All the teachings over there, Rabbi Shimon. So he brought us back to Kabbalah, Rabbi Shimon. So therefore, in Lag BaOmer, which is this your site, Rabbi Shimon, right? We do holiday, we do Chag. We're not going to be sad that day. You're not supposed to be sad. You're supposed to listen to music, and be happy, and dance, sing, right? I'll tell you guys a story, There's a story like this, true story. They say one time, there was this Chacham, who went to Meron. So Meron is in the north, right? Right? And that's where Rabbi Shimon was buried, over there, in this town, Meron. So he went over there, to kever Rabbi Shimon. He went over there, and he went inside the kever, to visit Rabbi Shimon. So they say, what he did? He went on Lag BaOmer, and he cried there, on Lag BaOmer. So what happened was that night, came Rabbi Shimon in a dream to one of the Chachamim over there in Tzfat. And he told him, he said, tell this idiot, this imbecile, idiot, why is he coming and crying, on Lag BaOmer next to my grave? He says, this is my holiday. You coming and crying over here? Shame on you. So you know what he told him in the dream? He said, you should know. He says, tomorrow his mother is going to die. Because he came to cry at my grave. On Lag BaOmer. This is what happened. It happened. Whatever he said, it happened. So you see from there, right? Lag BaOmer is a holiday. We're not supposed to be doing Avelut on Lag BaOmer. But we Sfaradim, we wait to shave until Lag BaOmer the next day, right? We don't shave until the next day, right? So I want to tell you that regarding music, what about listening to music during this time? So the truth is, that there is no source in the Talmud or in the Shulchan Aruch that says that you have to not listen to music in the Sfirat Omer during these times. There's no Shulchan Aruch like this. There's no Talmud like this. What happened was, later on, the Magen Avraham, he writes, which is after the Shulchan Aruch, he says that they shouldn't be, do like parties with dancing. That's what he says over there. Don't dance during that time. So the truth is, that's what we really have. We have this Magen Avraham that says we're not supposed to be dancing. And this is the rule, by the way. Until Lag BaOmer, right, you're not supposed to do parties with dancing, Unless what? Unless you have a Seudat Mitzvah, right? Brit Milah, Seudat Si'um, right? All these kinds of things. Seudat Mitzvah, you finished some Masechet, right? Whatever. You're allowed to do Seudat Mitzvah with music and dancing, everything, Everything. Seudat Mitzvah. But if it's not Seudat Mitzvah, just let's say, how the people, they want to do birthday party, Oh, it's my birthday. I became today 50 years old. Who cares? You cannot make a party now, right? We're doing until Lag BaOmer, right? Don't still bring music and dancing, even though it's your birthday. So what should you do? Just make a seudah, without dancing, no dancing, no music. Or wait until after Lag BaOmer, and then do your party, whatever, right? Mesiba, right? You want to do. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן. רבי חנינא מקדש אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעוזר את ישראל, לפי הכי רבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפץ, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידין.